Hi everyone, welcome to week 13. My name is Brooke Morrison. This week we dive into chapter 10 in the 1980s. This chapter has a slew of different topics, so let's see what we can tie together here. Okay, first we saw a whole bunch of documentation and letters from gay men afflicted by AIDS. So these men were complaining that because it only affected gay men and men of color that had less resources, that the government didn't care, that they didn't do enough to combat this terrible disease and find a cure for it. There was also some talk that I remember hearing growing up during this time that the government had the cure for AIDS and just refused to hand it out. So even today, the LGBT community still fights for equality and has issues with bias. They fight discrimination just like any other minority group. So minorities, people of color, women, and other subsects of American people, the LGBT community still faces daily discrimination, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a travesty, because in this day and age in America, where everyone should be equal, we should have done more to eradicate discrimination by now. Okay, the second topic I found is terrorism and impotence in war. And this subject is two-pronged. First, the chapter talks about the Iranian hostage crisis, where 52 American hostages were held for roughly 14 months. Hostage situations still happen. You see them on the news. Many have been war reporters, and some of them have been killed. Also, terrorists still exist and are very active in the world. So we definitely need to do more about terrorism, which is a great big huge myriad of a problem and will not be easily solved. And then the second part of this two-pronged subject here is the feeling of impotence in war has diminished but has not been forgotten. Like Vietnam, we Americans, we fought in the Gulf War and Afghanistan, and these were both long, drawn-out engagements. And there's controversy about whether we won or lost. I lived through all of this. I remember watching it go on and on and on for years. I knew many people that were in both wars. It was just very frustrating, and it just drug on and wore you down. You were tired of being at war. I'm still tired of being at war. America's been at war my whole lifetime plus some. And now we have this situation in the Ukraine, and many people are telling us that we should send troops in and that we should engage and we should walk into Ukraine and wipe Russia out. And then you have the inevitable questions. Well, should America go to war again? Would it do any good? If we walk into Ukraine, are we going to be walking into another Vietnam or Iraq, Afghanistan even? Would this time be different? And then there's the very important question, would U.S. involvement start World War III? This is a very difficult situation, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer, but unfortunately, we seem to be on the precipice of war yet again. I guess that's what happens when you are a dominating force in the world. Okay, so let's move on. Topic 3 this week is liberal versus conservative. We've heard the fights of the politicians louder these past several years than ever before, at least in my lifetime. I have lived through 8 or 9 presidents, maybe 10, and I don't ever recall worse fighting along partisan lines than in the past 15 or so years. It used to be that once the presidential election was over, everybody sat down and got along and did their jobs, but not so more. So, I don't know, which is better? Conservatism or liberalism? Is either better? I don't know. Anyway, I will post my questions in the forum. Thank you all for listening. Have a good week.